Hey, welcome. In the world of data, numbers are really just the start. The real magic, the stuff that actually drives big decisions, happens when we can turn all those numbers into a story we can actually see. And today, that's exactly what we're going to do.
So picture this. You're staring at a spreadsheet. You've got your supply data, you've got your demand data, all the pieces are there. But the one thing you really need, that perfect price, that equilibrium point, it's just buried somewhere in all those cells. So how do you find it?
Well, you find it by making it visual. This chart right here, this is our destination. It's a clean, clear picture where supply and demand aren't just ideas, they're lines that cross at a single obvious point. And I promise, by the end of this, you will know exactly how to build this. So let's get started with our main tool.
Now, the tool for this job is elegant, it's powerful, and chances are you already have it. We are talking about the scatter chart.
So what is a scatter chart really? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a graph that plots points using two different variables. Every single dot you see has an X value and a Y value. And because of that, it's the perfect way to see how two different sets of data relate to each other.
So why this chart? Why is it our go-to? Because it is literally designed to show relationships. It takes two columns of numbers and just reveals the hidden pattern connecting them. We can show them as little dots or connect them with a line, which, you guessed it, makes it absolutely perfect for drawing those classic supply and demand curves.
Okay, enough theory. Let's get practical. How do we actually take that table of numbers and start turning it into this insightful picture?
Okay, now hold on. Before you click a single button, this part is crucial. In economics, there's a golden rule. Price always goes on the vertical y-axis and quantity always goes on the horizontal x-axis. Get this right from the very beginning and I promise everything else will just fall into place.
So you've selected your data in your spreadsheet, you click Insert Scatter Chart, and boom, you've got a graph. And that's an awesome first step. You've officially turned numbers into a picture. But let's be honest, Excel's first draft isn't always the best. This is where we take the wheel. This next step is all about framing your data the right way. It's time to master the axes. And seriously, this is what separates a basic, kind of confusing chart from a professional, clear one.
Here's the problem we need to solve. Excel tries to be helpful, but it often starts its axes at 0, even if your data, say, starts at a price of $50. What happens? You get a ton of empty, wasted space, and all your important data points get squished into a tiny corner, hiding the very story you're trying to tell.
But don't worry, the fix is so easy. All you do is right-click on the axis you want to change. From that little menu that pops up, just choose Format Axis. That opens up a whole control panel where you get to set your own minimum and maximum values, perfectly framing your data.
Think of this Format Axis pane as your personal command center. You're in charge now. By setting your own boundaries, you're zooming in on the action, getting rid of all that dead space, and making your chart way more powerful. You're telling the software what's important, not the other way around.
Okay, our chart is clean, it's focused, it looks great. Now for the really cool part. Let's add a layer of analysis and reveal the pattern hiding in plain sight.
This feature is an absolute game changer. Just make sure your chart is selected, then go up to your chart tools and find Add Chart Element. A little menu will pop down and you just navigate to Trendline. You'll see a few options and you just pick the one that best matches the pattern in your dots.
See, it's not some buried, complicated feature. With just a couple of clicks, you're telling the program to draw a line that shows the general direction of your data. This is how you level up from just plotting points to actually analyzing the relationship between them.
So let's just take a quick step back and look at what we've done here. We didn't just make a chart. We actually built a narrative from the ground up.
I mean, think about it. You started with a boring, sterile table of numbers, and with just a few smart, deliberate moves, picking the right tool, mastering the axes, revealing the trend, you have created a clear, visual story about one of the most fundamental ideas in economics.
You can now literally see where supply meets demand. That all-important equilibrium point isn't an abstract concept anymore. It's a real, visible point on a graph that you made. So the real question is, now that you have this skill, what other hidden stories are waiting inside your data, just waiting to be brought to life?